Well, guys, it's Wednesday. It's our, I guess, fourth night of reading about what's going on in the life of Christ right now as we approach Easter. And today we're going to see where Judas kind of decides that he's going to betray Jesus. And what I want you to think about right now is Christ is still going to the temple every day and teaching the masses of people, the groups of people there that are gathered there, the Israelites that are gathered there for the Passover feast there in Israel. And every day when he shows up and he starts to talk and he starts to teach, those religious leaders are more and more getting angry about, hey, what he's teaching is a little bit different than what we're teaching, and he's beginning to take power from us because these people are listening to him. They're going to do some of the things that he's saying, and they're going to realize that maybe we're not doing what we ought to do. And that really scared them. So that's what we're going to pick up today. I do want to ask y'all to do a couple of things though. Today we're going to jump from Mark back over to the book of Matthew. We're going to be in chapter 26, and we're going to read verses 14 through 16. But I would encourage you to, keep reading in these chapters as we go through there, because you're going to get a lot more of the story than I can give you in a couple minutes here. Specifically, I'd like for y'all to read Mark chapter 14, verses 1 through 11, and you can see a little bit more of what's going on. But let's get off into it. Matthew chapter 26, verses 14 through 16 says, and kind of set where they're at. They'd been teaching in Bethany in Jerusalem. They went back to Bethany, and they were staying at drew a blank, at Simon the leper's house. And his sister or woman came up and broke this very expensive flask of oil and anointed Jesus' head with it. And some of the disciples were like, man, we could have sold that for a lot of money and used that to help more people. That was kind of a waste. And so that's kind of where we're at right here. And Jesus kind of gets on to him a little bit, says, hey, she's doing what she's supposed to be doing. And then so we're going to pick up 14 through 16. It says, then one of the 12, called Judas Iscariot, went to the chief priests and said, what are you willing to give me if I deliver him to you? And they counted out to him 30 pieces of silver. So from that time, he sought opportunity to betray him. Okay, so that 30 pieces of silver is important because that was the price, the average price of a male slave in that time. That's what they thought Jesus was worth, and that's what Judas, basically said, I'm willing to betray the man that I'm following, the man that I say I love, for 30 pieces of silver, for the price of a common slave. If you read these other chapters and stuff, you're going to see that there's different, just like if you and I saw a crime happen, we're going to have the key elements are going to be about the same, but we're going to each see little different things that happen. And that's what when you look at Matthew's account, when you look at Mark's account, when you look at Luke and John's accounts of these different things going on and how they wrote it down, you're going to see little different insights from each one of them. And when you put it all together, you get the whole story. In some of those other Gospels, it says Satan entered Judas. Satan entered his heart, took his heart. Do I think Judas was possessed? I personally don't. I think he just had the temptation. He was tempted by Satan for his own gain, and he took that temptation. But it doesn't really matter. None of that, guys, has any bearing on your salvation, whether or not Judas was possessed or not. So don't worry about that. Don't sweat the little stuff. But hope y'all will join us tomorrow night. We love you. God bless you. Y'all keep praying.